Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your February 2020 mid-month general readings. Thanks for being here today. Welcome to everyone, both newcomers, first-timers, and followers and subscribers. Thanks for all that you do in support of this channel. So this reading is for the fire sign of Leo, our lovely lions, for the last half of February 2020. That's Leo's sun, moon, rising, or if your Venus is in Leo, or if you're cross-watching for Leo. But as many of you know, you may want to watch all of your signs if you know them and if you can. General readings don't always resonate with everyone, and sometimes they can resonate a little differently. So watching your sun, moon, rising, and Venus videos, if you know them, can provide additional clarification. If any of these videos do resonate with you and you'd be interested in reaching out for a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can click on the description link below for more information and contact details. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do offer a wide variety of readings in all the main areas of life. And I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week, so I'm pretty diligent at working with people's schedules and getting readings out to them or scheduled with them in as timely a fashion as possible. So if you're interested, you can send me an email at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be happy to work with you. All right, let's move right into this reading. Leo, let's see what the last half of February has in store for you. We begin with the Queen of Swords, followed by the Eight of Cups. We have the Two of Cups, followed by the Eight of Wands. From the bottom of the deck, your overall energy for the last half of February is the Seven of Swords. So Leo, let's take a look first at your overall energy for the last half of February. We have the Seven of Swords, often nicknamed the Thief card. Hopefully none of you are outright stealing. But it actually can represent concealment, can represent being deceptive, concealing things, can also represent that you're keeping things to yourself in order to accomplish a goal or while you're working on a goal. It's interesting, at different times we notice different things about the cards because we're led by spirit, psychically led to see certain things at certain times for people who need to hear the message. And the interesting thing I'm noticing about the Seven of Swords now is that the actions this man is demonstrating, he's coming in and he's taking, you know, a bunch of swords and leaving in broad daylight. So it can imply a sense of deceit or doing something that's sneaky or wanting to keep it to himself, but he's actually doing it in broad daylight, or she is doing it in broad daylight. And I actually feel, kind of looking at the rest of these cards, Leo, like you're keeping something very much to yourself while you're going about the business of your day-to-day life. I feel like something is weighing heavy on you in the sense that a lot of your internal energy is kind of contemplating something or chewing on something, but you're functioning pretty well. You're going about the day-to-day business of your day-to-day routine in your life, but there's something that I think that's taking up a lot of your mental internal energy. I feel like there's a lot simmering on the back burners here. And I feel like it has to do with a very significant close relationship to you, whether it's a romantic relationship or best friend or family relationship of some kind. I think for many of you it's probably romantic. You may be considering ending a relationship, leaving a person, walking away in some way. Some of you may actually be in the process of taking steps to do this. Some of you may just be in the process of thinking and contemplating about it. But I feel like you're keeping it either wholly or in large part to yourself, and you're not talking about it, not with this other person, not with your partner, and perhaps not with anybody else either. But in terms of the person you're thinking of ending the relationship with, I feel like for some of you, a lot has already been said. Swords do represent mental energy, but they can also represent information, conversation, words, perspectives. And I feel like you've actually shared quite a bit of that with this other person. But I feel like you may be at the point, and again, some of you may have just given up and you decided you're just leaving. You're taking your words, your conversations, whatever it is that you feel haven't worked, and you're making plans, you're taking steps to leave. Some of you are contemplating that. That's kind of what I'm getting. Let me pull a clarifying card for that really quick. What's the Seven of Swords about? Some of you, this may not be relationship oriented. I suppose it could be for some of you maybe a job situation. Because I do feel a significant relationship is important or influential here. You know, it could be that you and your partner perhaps might be making plans to leave something or walk away from something together. Could be that for some of you. But I feel first and foremost it's about the relationship itself. The Seven of Pentacles, to clarify, the Seven of Swords. So this is a card of reflection and contemplation. It's someone who's taking a look at what they have versus the efforts they've put in to get what they have. Has all the work and effort that you've invested in this yielded the kind of harvest that you wanted? If this is a personal relationship or a love relationship, taking a look at what you have in the relationship now. Does the effort you've put into it and what you have now justify you staying, making changes, leaving, etc.? So, and this is clarifying the Seven of Swords. So what you're in fact keeping to yourself or not talking about or not sharing about, or perhaps not making, or perhaps making plans, taking action, is what to do. You know, taking inventory and thinking about what decisions to make based on that. Tens represent cycle completion. So the Ten of Pentacles would represent, you know, the perfect harvest. We're at a 7 here. Can you take it to a 10? Is it worth putting in the effort to take it to a 10? What should you do? And the reason I say leaving or contemplating ending something or walking away is because we have the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Cups here. Now, often court cards represent yourself or someone else. So the Queen of Swords could represent, for some of you, an Aquarius, Gemini, Libra individual, Sun, Moon, or Rising, female or male, because this is a general reading. There's too many of you watching to be gender specific. And we all have female and male energies. This could be somebody who's influential in this, in perhaps counseling you or helping you, or even in fact the person that you might be leaving or walking away from. But I feel like for a lot of you, you're manifesting the energy of the Queen of Swords. So kings and queens have reached a point of self-mastery and self-control with the character traits, and balance with the character traits inherent to them, inherent to their suit. Swords is that mental, cerebral, intellectual energy, perspectives, belief systems. So the Queen of Swords is somebody who, she has a long road behind her. She's sometimes referred to as the divorced woman or the widowed woman. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that specifically, but she does have a long road behind her, and that road has you know, not been easy. There's been a lot of painful lessons along the way, but it's led her to where she is now. She has a wealth of wisdom and experience based on her own challenges and her own experiences, and she tries her best to exercise seeing things in a practical, realistic way, and tempering that with compassion in how she makes decisions and choices. But she is about the truth above all, and being able to see the truth. This is somebody who doesn't suffer BS easily. She can see it coming a mile away. So this is somebody who has a lot of insight and does not allow emotions and feelings to dictate her actions. Doesn't mean she doesn't feel things. She does, just as deeply as anyone else. But it's the wisdom that she's gained from her experience that really allows her to see the truth of a situation and act accordingly. And what clarifies that is the Eight of Cups, which is walking away from something that you it ultimately isn't fulfilling, might be disappointing, might be something that's turned out differently than what you thought it was in the beginning. Chronologically speaking, the card after this would be the Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment card, getting everything that you want. Here in the Eight of Cups, this person does not have everything they want. So they're turning their back on whatever these cups represent for you and surveying the horizon, trying to decide which direction to go in. So I feel like a lot of you, Leo, are, again, this tremendous sense of internal energy and thinking about whether or not to leave a person, place, situation. It could be you and a partner together, but I feel like it's about a primary relationship because we have the Two of Cups here along with the Eight of Wands. I think probably towards the last week or towards the end of February, there's going to be a lot of communication between you and this person, perhaps even travel, you traveling to see them or them traveling to see you. This is a pretty important union. The Two of Cups is often referred to as the soulmate card. It doesn't necessarily have to represent romantic. Sometimes it can represent best friends, kindred spirits, someone with whom you think you're a fundamentally great match. You know, you have that kind of karmic connection between the two of you. The Eight of Wands is a card of action, communication, movement, travel. Lots of communication messages, conversations perhaps. Again, timing is always a bit fluid and never more so than a general reading, but I feel like for many of you, this is occurring towards the end of February. Perhaps you are traveling or making plans to see this person. Perhaps they are traveling and making plans and talking about those plans to come to see you. But you are kind of also sitting over here asking yourself if, you know, sometimes these soulmates, these karmic connections aren't necessarily meant for the purposes of occupying all the chapters of our life book. Sometimes it's just for the purpose of growth and evolvement for the two of you. And once you've learned everything that you're capable of learning, sometimes your paths diverge. And I think that might be what you might be contemplating here, Leo, for a lot of you. Has this union run its course? Have I learned everything that I was meant to learn here? There's some question as to whether or not you're meant to continue together in your mind. At least this is what you're contemplating. Do I leave? Should I leave? Maybe starting to make plans to leave. How do I do that? There's still kind of a sense of uncertainty about it, but it feels like a lot of you are leaning strongly, if you're not already making plans to leave, leaning strongly towards that ending, even though you may not be entirely certain how to do it or what direction you might be going in. But yet there's something coming up between the two of you towards the end of the month, a sense of coming together again or coming back together again. Let me clarify that. The Lovers, and right behind it is Judgment. Well, this could not be more clear. The Lovers, you have the Lovers and the Two of Cups. A very connected relationship. The Two of Cups represents connecting on a variety of different levels. The Lovers, of course, implies a certain amount of passion, desire, heat, perhaps some tumultuous energy between the two of you. This also represents a choice, needing to make a very significant choice that's going to impact this relationship and perhaps other people around this relationship as well. And Judgment is that call to action. It often shows up when there is a choice or a decision to be made. Now is the time to make a stand. And there's often an air of finality about Judgment, meaning that whatever choice you make, whatever you set into motion, whatever path you take, that's pretty much going to be it. It's going to set the stage for this for quite some time to come. So think very carefully. Don't rush into this decision too spontaneously or impulsively, and I don't believe that you are. It looks like you're taking your time, and I think that you have been taking quite a bit of time. I think that a lot has been invested in this relationship, in this union. Judgment is sometimes also called the second chance card or the reconciliation card. So I think for some of you, this coming back together again, because I do see the two of you coming back together again. Perhaps there's been some physical distance or some estrangement, but you're coming back together again, perhaps towards the end of February, beginning of March, or the plans for that are solidifying. And there will be, at that time, there will be an opportunity to make a decision, I think a final decision, about what's going to happen with this relationship once and for all. And what that decision is, I mean, this is a general reading, so it's going to be different things for different people. And there is a small number of you, I think, that have already mostly made the decision to leave and maybe just trying to figure out how to do that. But for the rest of you, I think that this will continue to play out probably in the beginning of March as well. So Leo, that is your reading for the last half of February. I hope that it was positive and useful feedback for you. Again, if this reading resonated for you, if any of the readings do, and you'd be interested in reaching out for a personal reading, just click on the description link below, click on the little arrow, and you'll see some contact information. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the March 2020 general readings. Until then, as always, I wish you much love and joy, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.